Yo, what's going on? This is Nigel from the Highly Advised Podcast, otherwise known as Relaxin' No G_Jackson. I am here with my friends this week. We are here. We are chilling. How is everybody doing this week? How are you guys feeling?
Man, I'm feeling really good. You know, we keep on up in the 40s, you know. It's fucking episode 42, and I'm just here ready to knock this shit out. Let's go. Let's get it back in blood.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Like the true king of the North, you know what I mean? 7 rings and all types of shit. But I can't call it, man. I'm ready to be here, man. Playing is always good as any other day, you know what I mean? So let's get right into it, man. Start us off, man. Matter of fact, because I was speaking to you over the weekend, yo. And I remember because listening to the last podcast, we was talking about Dirk or whatever. You told me you finally listened to his stuff, right?
Yeah, man, I listened to it. I had some time. So actually, I listened to it twice because the first time I listened to the deluxe and I heard the songs off of there. And for me personally, that was like a little hard to get through just because like I wasn't prepared. Well, no. Just hear me out. Just hear me out about all of it. So like for me personally, the deluxe, it's just not for me. Like I'll just say that, and It just is what it is. Like, you know, I don't think it's necessarily bad, but like what I will say about the actual album itself, The Voice, you know, I think that it isn't necessarily a bad album. I think that it is. I listen to it. There's some songs on there that I like. I like the songs. I like the song with King Von the most, Still Trapping. I like the song after that with what's his name? The singer.
I can't think of. Oh, you talk about Black.
Yeah, Black. That song was good.
Oh, okay.
And you know, to be honest, is a good song too. Like it's not a terrible album. It's just not really something that I would say I would go out of my way to listen to. You know what I mean?
I can understand that. Like, I put it this way: like Dirk can be like an acquired taste from like certain conversations I've had. Just like I told you guys, like over the weekend, I had to have a whole debate about Dirk, a couple of friends or whatever. So, and it was on the opposing side of Dirk versus another artist. So like I can understand it, but at the same, well, not at the same time, but the reality is like it's one of those things where like it's how music is just subjective, I guess. Like because like he's on pace. I think this is like supposed to be his biggest selling album so far.
Yep, according to his a unnamed person, I think like 87,000 this past week.
Wait, you sold 87?
Yeah, this past week. So that's not his total sales. I think his total sales is over 100,000. But
really,
oh wow, really?
Yeah. But
it's not a bad album though, man. Like, and I'm not even like really a fan of that type of rap, and that's just not my thing. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
An album came out last weekend, or mixtape, whatever he wants to call it. But the rapper Pooh Sheisty, Gucci Mane's new artist, he dropped Sheisty Season. You know, that's the name of the project. And he has the #1 song across all genres in Apple Music and iTunes or whatever. You know, he's actually catching a little bit of flack from this driver license girl fan base. Heard that song, by the way. The song's kind of trash. But
what happened?
You know the driver license song that's been getting a lot of popularity in radio play or whatever?
I don't listen to the radio, but is Pooh Shiesty song?
No. This is like some, you know, pop artist.
Nah, I'm not familiar.
Well, anyway, Pooh Shiesty's Back in Blood. That song's #1, and Pooh Shiesty tweeted about it, and then some people are going off on him because they're like, "Oh, your song's not even that good," and the driver license girl's about to carry you, all this other shit. Anyway, I listened to the Sheisty Season album. It sounds like one big ass song.
Exactly what I said too.
There's a couple songs where it's kind of like, oh, I could listen to this, you know, but hopefully in his first foray into the mainstream world of rap music, he learns from the mistakes and has a better beat selection second time around. I think he needs to improve on his rapping. And I mean, I'm not expecting much from him, but if people want him to be on like a bigger level, he needs to, improve his lyricism a bit more. But the song Back in Blood ain't that bad, but it is a little overrated.
Nah, that joint is hard, bro.
The beat is garbage. It's garbage.
What?
Is
Bro, but sometimes that's I think sometimes like when a beat isn't like oversaturated with stuff, it makes it sometimes even better. It helps for an artist sometimes. So like
yes.
Like you can have like a barely anything on a beat. Like I'm quite sure many people say what's the song? Numbers on the Board?
Yeah, that song's hard.
Yeah, but there's some people that probably think that beat is horrible.
The beat is not that great, but since Pusha T can actually rap, and when he's rapping, it's like, it's very entertaining. There's a difference, There's some Drake beats where the beats that Drake raps on are not that great, and I'm not trying to connect the two. I know they have, but they're just not that great. But since it's Drake rapping on them, it's like the song is actually not that bad. But this Pooh Shiesty thing, man, I think Lil Durk saved him on that fucking song. Because if it wasn't for Lil Durk, that song would have been boring. The chorus is all right though. The chorus is the most catchy part for Pooh Shiesty's part. But I think Lil Durk had the better verse overall.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there. Like Durk had the better verse on it. Like I mean, for real, like the highlight of that song is Pooh Shiesty, but I'm really Sheisty. Like that is like that is the highlight of that song. So I get that, but I'm not gonna hold you. Like I got on the Pooh Shiesty probably about a week ago, or like a week before the album came out. My man's put me on to him or whatever, and straight up, like I rock with it. Like I like his album. I think I do agree though, his album is just one big song. When it comes to artists like that, I look at it the same and under the same breath of like a Black Youngster or something like that, where it's like I don't expect much, right? Or it's like I know you're only going to give me so much, and he's a young artist. So like a young artist like him right now, for real, I don't think he needs to change his sound for the time being. To be honest with you, I don't think he needs to, because it's when he's just starting it off, he's just trying to build a name for himself across the board. So you put out, it's just more about right now, it's more about being visual, where people are able to see him like, oh, I'm hearing the song. Listen, it's hard to tell someone, yo, Chain, you need to switch it up when you got the number one song over like everybody. You feel me? Even regardless if it's Durk or not on the song. So, and I think him and Durk might have a project coming out soon anyway. So better get that back in the blood.
I haven't heard Pooh Shiesty yet, but I remember a long time ago, me and Lau have known each other for quite a bit of time, and he put me onto another Gucci Mane artist with another crazy ass name, and his name was Waka Flocka. And little did I know that there was going to be a period in time where his name was actually going to be pretty relevant. So.
Legendary artist.
Yeah.
Legendary artist.
I'm going to give him a listen, and I'm going to have to check back in on that one.
Let me tell you, let's remind ourselves of this, right? The same way you can criticize Pooh Shiesty for lyricism.
Yeah.
A legend of such as Waka Flocka once said, 2 words. It's like, I love the trap.
A lot of cuss.
It's like, yo.
Oh, God.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things. And plus, now I'm forgetting all about it. But now that you say that, whether you like it or not, I mean, he was found by Gucci. So I think Gucci, hands down, may be one of the best ears in rap music, especially.
The legendary cosign.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I watched like the first 5 minutes of his Breakfast Club interview. And he was like, yeah, like Gucci just hit me up out of nowhere in the middle of the night, like 3-4 in the morning, started going back and forth in DMs. He was like, yo, I like your music. I want to sign you. And apparently Gucci only heard one song of his.
Yep.
Like he was like, Gucci heard one song and was like, I want to sign you. So
yeah, I mean, Gucci sees something that, you know, that we all don't see, of course, but I'm not saying Pooh Shiesty's bad. I think there's definitely potential, but it, you know, he the dude needs some work. You know,
you're
what
just
I mean?
not a fan of his music right now.
No, okay, yeah, we could just say that.
He was about to say, I'm not a fan of his music at all, but
we could say that. But I'll give Pooh Shiesty a chance. Like whenever he drops his second project, whatever, I'll give it a chance. Like it wasn't like I'll listen to Shiesty season. I'm like, oh, this is utter garbage, toilet. I'm gonna wipe my ass with this shit. No, I wasn't like that at all. Maybe I was just being too critical of it because, you know, I was expecting something more since it's the Gucci cosign, you know.
But it's like since 99, though, we're not listening to him being like, oh, he's about to be like the next dude. You know what I mean?
Right, but he doesn't have the Gucci cosign.
That's very true. You're right about that.
But see, even then, like, it's one of those things like you learn like, oh, some artists just fit their own pocket, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Like I'm quite sure, like, I was watching something about Chief Keef the other day, and I'm quite sure, like, literally the legend of like drill music at this point. Like it's so crazy to think 10 years ago he was like just breaking out onto the scene.
Yeah.
Like it's just that thing of reception where it's like, this is trash. Now, granted, Pooh Shiesty could be gone tomorrow and we never hear from him again. But like I think the thing that really it'd be interesting to see how his career goes. I'll say that because from looking up some of the stuff about his music, you get to a lot of his music is based off of like his life, his real life things happening. So
sounds like he's talking sometimes instead of rapping. And I think that's something he may have to work on.
Listen, man, that might just be the new style. For real.
People say the same thing about Currency sometimes. And we like Currency.
Y'all do.
Spence is a known Currency hater on the podcast.
That's not a hater.
Yes.
For multiple episodes, he's hated on Currency.
God forbid it. God forbid someone have an opinion, man. Just because you like it don't mean it can't be trash. You know what I mean? It's like if you was walking around with like a really funny look, if you was walking around with like flies coming out your shoes, I'm not gonna be like, yo. I'm not gonna be saying nothing crazy. I'm just like, yo, that's his style.
He's alluding to another story that was on the podcast, listeners, to deflect his hate for Currency.
That's
if
not
you really
want
to go back, it happened in like the first 10 episodes. Our audio was a lot worse than what it is right now.
God, it was. It surely was. Like, I mean, but even then though, like I've been to a Currency concert. Like, I just don't think.
Who invited you there? A Currency fan.
Dave East.
This guy right here.
Okay, Rob Van Dam.
Speaking of wrestling, I heard somebody was trying to get into that.
Man, tell that boy don't even put out his last album and go get the hookup from Master P first.
Man, how do you like the one of the corniest rappers of our lifetime? Like the dude he's
a legend though.
He is
for anybody listening who's wondering who we're talking about Lil Bow Wow.
He I mean, yeah, legend, but just just a corny
cornballs, what you're saying.
Just a corny dude. Like I have the thing is I don't have a problem with him. I don't think anybody should have a problem with him wanting to like pursue some happiness if he wants to go on pro wrestling and, you know, have a little bit of fun there. But if he's like, hey, yeah, this is my real life career, this is what I want to do, and you guys will know me as, you know, Bow Wow and pro wrestling, it's just kind of like, dude, like we're not going to tune in to really watch you have a wrestling career. You know, it's just going to be kind of like a gimmick. You know what I mean? It's like watching Shaquille O'Neal wrestle. We know like, hey, this is just some special attraction. This is not he's not a full-time wrestler, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I think Bow Wow has always been an interesting case anyway. Like he's really been like a case study of like child rappers in hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, because you remember before, like he had like this whole thing about wanting to commit suicide and telling people like, don't ever get into this industry. Like he has like some scars, I guess. And I don't know. I think it's just I guess his growing pains. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it a bug with you. Ain't nobody trying to see that. Like all jokes aside, like I mean, I get it. I respect it because it's like, okay, maybe this is something you want to do. More than likely, it's trying to find a way to collect the bag, definitely during COVID times. I'd rather see him on AEW and him go against Matt Hardy. Like that match Matt Hardy had, I would put him in one of those extreme environments and I'll watch that. I'll watch it all day. I'll watch that more than I'll watch 50 Cent versus Floyd. I'll tell you that right now.
You know, wow.
No, nothing. I was just sighing. You know, when he said 50 Cent versus Floyd, I was like, it just reminded me of how dark boxing could be. You know what I mean? So,
well, we got.
Listen, 50 Cent gave him his first L. So,
you know, I don't really have any, you know, intention of watching Lil Bow Wow wrestle anywhere. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it's cool. I'd rather see Floyd versus any of the three people he's supposed to be fighting this year than Lil Bow Wow wrestle. And shouts out to him if that's what he really wants to do. But I don't care.
What if he does 50 Cent? What if it's
all of them in a tag team match?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather
in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, who do you think will win out of, like, if you put a bunch of rappers in an Elimination Chamber? Who do you think will win? No Guns.
We're gonna put Floyd, both the Paul brothers, Rob Gronkowski because he used to wrestle.
No, I'm saying rappers.
Or 50 Cent, and after that, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I would do with that.
It just depends on which rappers are going to be locked in the chamber. Only one man can survive.
What if Gucci's locked in there? Who do you want him to go against? Do you want him to be first out of the Elimination Chamber?
Man,
old Gucci.
Old Gucci. He might not even follow the rules. You know what I mean?
He needs his weapon of choice.
Yeah,
he's gonna pull it from underneath the ring.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, man! If y'all didn't see, getting off of wrestling, Rob Gronkowski was also in the Super Bowl this weekend, and he won. You know, with the GOAT Tom Brady, and the Chiefs did not score a single touchdown.
Jeez,
man, that was just.
Gotta go get that back in blood now, man.
Yeah, he gotta get it back in blood. Yeah, he gotta be real Sheisty, huh? But I mean, shouts out to the GOAT Tom Brady, you know. Shouts out to him. And he got everybody on the Bucks a ring. You know, people that probably would have never got a ring, or if they did, it would have been a few more years. And that's just the magic of Tom. I was saying it, man. I said, look, man, you can't. Old man Tom. I should have put money down on him. I probably would have been rich before Dogecoin hit. The dude was a game manager, bro. He was a game manager. He didn't make any crazy ass throws like Patrick Mahomes did. None of that shit. 10 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, 3 yards here, 4 yards. And I'm just telling you, I felt like this. I was more impressed with the defense of the Bucks because they held. Yeah. And there are a few questionable calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there definitely were, but
there were. You know, but that didn't control the outcome of the game because Patrick Mahomes still threw for like 200 some yards. You know, believe it or not. So people who don't watch football, you know, or don't watch sports. Oh, the refs won. Like, you didn't really watch the game. Like, yeah, there's questionable calls, but that wasn't the reason why they lost 31-9. Like, that wasn't the reason why, you know. The Chiefs O-line was fucking terrible.
Man.
You know, shouts out to the GOAT. He got 7. He may go for 8.
I was watching it, man, and I was just very shocked. If you would have told me this year the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl, I'd have been like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm sure they have a solid chance of making it there. If you told me they make it there and not get a single touchdown, I would bet a lot of money against that at the beginning of the season. Like, because there's just no way. I think the Buccaneers defense played well. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes was running all night. He didn't have a solid time to ever plant down and like ever really think. They were on his ass all night long.
See, I was telling you, Nigel. I said the defense is gonna start to adapt to this dude.
Yeah, no, like we were both talking about it like the day before, and I was just like, yo, like they were shutting down Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. They weren't really doing shit. Like it was bad. Like that's just think about this. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has ever, and if he has, it's like maybe one or two times, and the NFL lost the game by 2 touchdowns until last night. Just think about that. It's a big deal.
It's big.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, it's crazy though if you think about it. Like, how someone like it, because I watch football, but not like that, right? I keep up with the highlights throughout the season more often than not. Some games here and there, but like the overarching theme when I would like have a chance to talk to like some of my friends that watch football all day, every day, and all of that, the term was always Pat makes the game look fun. He's just unbelievable, right? And of course, we knew walking into this, we knew, okay, it was baby goat versus the goat.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day. And it was a question of like, okay, who would actually end up really being like that guy? But you saw with Pat, where like you guys were saying, like he was getting stopped. Even it was barely any time when I was watching a game where I saw Pat was just able to just cool behind the line. It was more often than not, it was scramble. Granted, he could scramble and get the ball off anytime, any other time, but it was like they didn't give him much time at all to even think or even to. Anytime he's throwing the ball, it's like, okay, I got to look all the way downfield at this time. And granted, he could throw 60, 70 yards, no problem moving. But it's like that doesn't mean anything if the defense is locking down your players down the field at the end of the day.
Yep.
And someone like Tom Brady, anyway, when it's all said and done, it's just the greatest. He's just a different animal. We saw how he played, and even then, like it was nothing that was like, oh, like the reminiscence of like Tom Brady back in the day, where it's like, oh, we got him down. Like even when he played against Atlanta, where he was down and he had to actually go for drives on like the last 60 seconds and all that type of stuff from what we've seen in his past. So I don't know. I was very impressed. I was actually shocked to see where he actually said, he was like, yeah, we'll be going for another one next year. Cause he's like, what, 43 now?
Yeah, 43, man.
He's probably, honestly, I think at this point, he's just like, yo, listen, I'm going to just try to get 10 and be out. Like, and it's very, at the rate that he's going, it's very possible.
Well, here's a fun question.
What's up?
Right. 2 things. Is Tom Brady the GOAT across all team sports? And if he's able to get 1 or 2 more rings, will that cement him as the GOAT across all team sports? Meaning he's over Jordan, he's over any other athletic GOAT in their respective sports.
No, it doesn't make him the best because, and here's what I was explaining to Gilroy a little earlier, like to just think about this, right? No NFL team has ever went to the finals or the Super Bowl, I guess for them, 3 times and won. No team damn sure hasn't done it twice. You know what I mean? So like it, and not only that, on top of like, that's a great achievement. Winning 7 is a great achievement. They're both like great achievements in their own right. The thing is that also on top of that, they're just 2 different sports. They just work 2 different ways. You know what I mean? Like, so I think they're hard to really equate. But what I will say is that they're both great.
I think Tom Brady is the GOAT, hands down. I still have Jordan above him because here's the thing about the game of basketball. You got to play offense. You got to play defense.
That's true.
That's a fact. I mean, I agree there. Like, I would do the same. I would say the same. Like, you can't. With Jordan is you got to play defense and offense, but it's also he played during a harder time for basketball, for sports. Like that there's always going to be the asterisks of like, and we all saw like the memes and stuff like that going around of like the Deflategate Brady or like it was like I forget what the call was, but how they created new calls and everything for Brady allegedly.
Yeah.
So like those are always going to be the asterisks next to his name of like, oh well, because of course when anytime it comes with success, there's always someone that has to throw a stone.
Yeah, look what they're doing to LeBron now.
Yeah, I mean, like Jay-Z said, they love you until they hate you. They build you up just to kill me again. Like it's the truth though. Like at the end of the day, Tom is going to be one of the greatest, but I have to just put Jordan over him. Jordan played during a harder time, went there 6 times, won 6 times. Granted, like football is different because there's so many other variables. Like no matter what, Tom Brady couldn't just be like, I'm gonna just put the team on my back and I'm gonna just take the ball up the field myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Jordan literally would say, you know what? Y'all don't want to play today. I'm going to win this game myself. So like it's just a whole different thing. But I think the mentality behind how they win is all the same. Like to get to this point, to win 7 of anything, championships, to win 7 championships over a 20-year span, being there 10 times.
It's hard to do, man.
Yeah,
it's hard to win one.
Yeah, it's hard to win one. But just think though, it's hard to win 3 back-to-back and then do it again. Yeah. Do it again. You know, like that's hard to do. Like that's why nobody has done it since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Hey, Tom Brady got more rings than most teams do. Like as a collection. I think the Steelers have 6 in total, right?
Yep. Yeah, no NFL team has more than 6 rings. The Patriots and the Steelers both have 6.
Tom got 7.
Hey, shouts out to him, man. Like, he was the best quarterback of all time. Like, I don't think there's any debate anymore. Like, I think in order for somebody to be greater than Tom, they really might have to win. Like, they're going to have to win at least 4.
No, 4. Yeah, it's got to be more, man. 4 ain't the number no more.
What I'm saying, no. So what I'm saying is this,
you need
right?
5 at least.
Yeah,
just for conversation.
If Patrick Mahomes were to lose this Super Bowl and then win like the next 3, we're gonna talk about him with Tom Brady somewhere.
He'll be in the path of. He'll be on the path to that Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree. He'll be on the path, but you can't put him in the same realm because once you start doing that, you're going to be discrediting what Tom did.
You're right.
You can't discredit what he did. What he did is a feat, bro. There's teams that still never been to a Super Bowl.
No, for sure. You're right.
And the crazy part is he's not even retired. He's coming back another season to try it again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying y'all are wrong. Like like I said, he's the best without like a doubt. It's just crazy to think that it's going to take a lot to overcome Tom Brady. Maybe like doing 7 on one team will be like enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you got to stay there.
Yeah, forever. it's gonna be a lot, man. Like we saw with Kobe, we saw with LeBron, how these players got as great as humanly possible on the court amongst their peers, and it was always Jordan won 6.
Yep.
Kobe, Jordan won 6. Kobe got to win at least 6 to even be greater, to be as great as Jordan.
Man, Kobe is one of the GOATs.
Yeah, for sure.
When motherfuckers talk about the 70s, I'm like, yo, you and your neighbors could put a league together and it's an equivalent of the 70s. I don't want to hear that. I feel like
Bill Russell was a backyardigan now, man.
Come on. 80s and up. 80s and up. That's when the 80s is the most far back you should go. I'm telling you, man, back then it's different. You have, one black player on a team full of white men, and he was a superstar. Yeah. Superstar.
You remember Bill Russell said, like, when he was playing, like he was actually dribbling, crossing them up, and they were calling a foul. And he was like, what they call a foul? He was like, they just were like, we never seen that before. We don't even know what that is. So like, it just gives you an idea as to why he won 13 rings, and like no one ever talks about it, but he still one of the greats though. But
yeah, he's a great. I'm not going to deny that skill, but I just feel like, hey man, I don't think he would win as much in today's era or the era of yesteryear. But
do you think GSP will win today in this era right now as a welterweight?
No.
Why not?
He's too old, man. He's too old. He's past his prime. He knows it, and some people know it too.
So you saying that he would have a chance against Khabib?
I mean, I would root for him to beat Khabib, but I would not. you know.
What do you have against Khabib? Why'd you call him that?
I'm not a big Khabib fan. I acknowledge his dominance as pound for pound number one. You know, listeners, you guys should tune into that episode. But as far as like fan favorite goes, I'm not a fan of his. So if this whole fucking nonsense shit of GSP and Khabib is true, I'm rooting for GSP 100%. I'm gonna show up with the Canadian flag wrapped around my head, waving the fucking flag, hoping GSP could do one more. But you know, I just don't think he's just too old, man. He's too old.
GSP is too old. I do think he can make the weight because like I had this conversation with you, Nigel, I think a while ago when this was all there, like hypothetical still before these rumors actually had surfaced. But I think GSP can make the weight, but I think just like DC, where DC had to cut weight and everything like that, and it was just too taxing on the body. No matter how much you change, it's easier to do when you're younger, right? But when you're like 40 something years old and you're trying to cut down to 145, 155 pounds, and you typically probably walk around at 200, same as Khabib, you're going to have a long day. And don't get me wrong, honestly, I got to take that back. I think GSP would beat Khabib. I think GSP could beat Khabib just because if he can get it, there's asterisks next to it because if he can get his timing down, if his timing is down, he'll probably be able to keep Khabib at some type of distance. And I think Khabib has enough respect for GSP still because that's like his idol to some extent that I don't think he'll be so quick to just say, oh, I can easily go take this guy down. Now, if he takes him down easily after the first try, I'm absolutely wrong and Khabib will win and you should not put your money on what I just said. And I'm not responsible for your losses.
If Khabib faces GSP, he's going to dog him. Like, he's going to dog him bad, too. for real. Like, he's going to dog him for 5 rounds and he's going to, like, say it again.
Like Barboza?
Like everybody he's faced. it's going to be no different. Like, there's no reason why GSP should come out every time, even if he can make the weight. That's not a reason to fight, you know? Like, yeah. There's a thing. I don't, listeners, if you listen to past episodes, like, I'm not the biggest fan of DC and all of his commentary, but he did make a good point, and I was talking the same thing with Lau about another fight that we were talking about later on. And it's like, just because like a fighter can fight doesn't mean they should fight. GSP has done everything that any other fighter has done other than like defend the second belt that he's won. Why would he take such a risk against the top fighter right now to get paid a lot of money, but you'd ruin your legacy for that? That's exactly. A lot.
I mean, but at the same time, just like John Jones even said the same thing before. And granted, John is a lot younger of a fighter, still in prime shape and everything, and decided to move up to heavyweight and relinquish his belt because he said, yo, I'm tired. I don't really care about the champion. I don't care about the notoriety at this point. I'm fighting for like collecting the bigger bag. Like at this point, I think fighters like that, though, it's not like it's Chuck Liddell with a glass jaw, right? So like, it's more or less at this point, it's like an insurance policy, a retirement plan of like, yo, I can make a quick 50. I can make he'll probably make an easy 20 million. Probably not, if not more, because of his own personal sponsors and the UFC having to work around those wires to get GSP in the building because we know he still has his fan base is so big. For 50 million, 25, $50 million. He'll fight, win, lose, or draw. He walks off into the sunset with his head held high and saying, yo, you know what? Because just like we said before, if GSP is fighting someone, he thinks he can win. He's not fighting him because he's not only fighting him for the money. Right. The money is the icing on the cake at this point. So I think for him, it's hey, I think I can win this, and the money is too good to pass this up. And plus, I think there think for a couple of years now, he's been trying to condition his body to get down to that weight anyway. So this is something that he's probably been prepping for a couple of years.
I mean, I think, look, fuck that fight. I don't want to see it. It's a fight.
There you go.
It's a fucking fight. You know, he wants you to get like angry and rant and shit. There you go, loud. There you go, loud. No, but on a serious note, man, fuck that fight. Like that is a fight that it only does Khabib. It only works out for Khabib. And once again, it kind of it glosses over his padded record. You know, people are just gonna look, oh, he beat GSP, not realizing what was the factors of it. He beat an old GSP. He beat a GSP who's never fought a lightweight before. You know, he beat a GSP that also came out of another retirement that hasn't fought in years. So like, but nobody's gonna think of that. You're just going to think of Khabib. That fight does nothing for his GSP. Now, if GSP comes up and he absolutely wins, yes, it'll rise his stock, but why would Khabib risk 29-1 for fighting GSP? You know what I mean? Why not just get the guaranteed 30? You know, majority of your record is already padded, you know. You're doing, you know, 2-minute squash fights against, you know, sideshowed Bobs and, you know, the average Joe. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, the dude went 20-0 in Russia, you know, would pick hand-selected opponents. You know what I mean? He goes in the UFC, and yeah, he gets a streak in the UFC, but he didn't beat his first notable opponent until fucking Edson Barboza. Now, after he beats Edson Barboza and mauls him, he goes to fight, you know, the real estate agent, Al Quinta. And Al Quinta, we all know the dude is not a real top 10 fighter, you know. Yeah. He's not. So, you know what I mean?
That was the only person that gave him trouble, I think, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is that Al Quinta fights so infrequently. He fights with the frequency of Nate Diaz, if not worse.
I know.
I'll put it like this. Habib, oh boy, he had like a short opponent change, right? It was like one day notice.
Yeah, it was like something. It was like a last second thing. I think Al Quinta had been prepping for whatever could come or something like that.
Yeah,
or something like that. But
yeah. So like, you know, I guarantee it's like, hey, a rematch with a full camp, Habib will finish him. You know, because he's finished tougher opponents. So it's just like I have nothing against Habib as far as his dominance and his skill. He is pound for pound number one, the greatest lightweight fighter of all time across any organization. I just think that, you know, his fans kill the legacy thing for me. I don't give a fuck about this fight. The fight means nothing. I would rather see Habib come back and fight a real contender like Charles Oliveira, or at least give Dustin Poirier a rematch, something. Not old ass GSP. Like, it's a money grab fight. Don't give a fuck about it. And if Habib loses, it's going to destroy his fucking legacy.
Yeah. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I think Habib's the only one that has anything to lose in this fight.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like I understand the thing of like GSP's legacy, but like GSP is so old at this point that if he were to lose that fight, which there's a high probability that he will, I'm going to root for him just cause, but it's a high probability that he will lose the fight. I think for Khabib though, it's more of like it's a dream fight, but it's like at the same time, it, like you said, it ruins his legacy if he was to lose this fight. It's going to be interesting. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna be the most pressed about it. I'll say that much.
Did you get a chance to watch Frankie Edgar being taken out this weekend by Cory Sandhagen?
I didn't get a chance to watch the fight. What?
He knocked him out, and like he really put him to sleep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the referee looked like he was going to bring him a blanket, not like check on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was like really sleeping on the mat, like for like at least a few minutes.
Really, I'm about to try to look that joint up.
I shouldn't say it like that. He actually did get like very quickly knocked out by Cory Sandhagen in the first round. It was about 28 seconds into the round.
Man, Frankie knew that he went to sleep. Frankie knew that, you know, Cory Sandhagen had the melatonin in his knee. He knew that's what Frankie needed. And
he needed a nap.
Oh my God.
He just laid down. He went to sleep.
Yo,
And the thing is,
I'm just watching it right now. Yo.
He wasn't really beat up in the face or anything like that. He just like, hey, Frankie, like, I know you're tired. You know what I mean? Like,
it's been a long day, Frankie. Go ahead, rest, man.
Yeah, just get some rest.
Take one of these and call me in the morning, man.
Yeah.
But
jeez, he flattened that man fell like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, though. Like,
yeah, no, he was asleep. And me and Lau were talking about it, and I'll let you get your thoughts off about it. But the thing is that Frankie Edgar, legend of the sport, you know what I mean? Frankie has definitely had his time, lightweight champion, definitely at least a few title bouts outside of that, right? Like he definitely had like a title shot like at another weight class at some point in time.
Yeah, against Max Holloway,
you know what I mean? Like he's a legend of the sport. He doesn't necessarily need to fight anymore. But then again, he did just get knocked out. But what I would say is at least in the top 3 of his weight class. There's no shame in that.
He needs to get it back in blood.
That's funny.
I'll catch Chris Sandberg outside of here. It's all good, man. It's all good. You got me in the ring. Catch me outside, man.
What do you think, Wow?
I just thought that, Frankie, he took the rest that he needed to take. He just, the melatonin worked. Frankie realized it. You could tell when he got up, he was a little groggy and stuff. The ref woke him up before he wanted to be awoken. And, it's like, shit, that melatonin worked because he was able to tweet. So,
put him in a sleeping chamber for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were calling Cory Sandhagen the Sandman. That's his nickname.
Yo.
Oh, man. That same night, Overeem fought Alexander Volkov and also got put down the same night. Now, I know, Lau, you have some words for this, so I'll let you go ahead and say your piece.
I'm ready to move on to the next topic, but let me just say, shouts out to Alexander Volkov. You guys know I'm not a fan of Overeem, and I just can't stand. I'm glad the dude lost. I know people crack on John Jones for his steroid abuse. Alistair Overeem, the guy is a poster child for abusing drugs. He was in Japan. The dude was weighing like 170 pounds, and overnight he became 240 pounds. The dude, and he tried to blame it on horse meat, and they're like, "No, dude, you got caught with a few needles, and but." And then once the UFC told him, like, "Hey, look, we got you side up, man. You can't be doing this if you want to fight for us." You seen he's been getting viciously knocked out. You seen 2 fights ago, his lip got cut in half. Yeah, now you're not on steroids anymore. Now you're cutting back down to 170 pounds. And
it's 170. He cut a whole 100 pounds. Like,
man went back to his birth weight.
He was taking steroids like 4 times the dosage he needed. And like he was the Strikeforce heavyweight champion, if that really means anything, right?
Grand Prix champion too. And
at the moment, man. Nah, that's just that shit's kind of funny.
I mean, I'm just saying that he's beating, just destroying kids like Brett Rogers. Like,
hey man, look,
and he was off of steroids. I think when he beat Brock Lesnar, both of them were juiced up at the same time, and that might have been the most fair fight he ever had.
Both just juiced to the gills.
Yeah. So,
you're funny.
Juiced out of their minds.
Alistair Overeem is a heavyweight legend. He's been fighting for a long time. He got wins in every decade. Even though 3 out of the 4 decades he got wins in, it was due to steroid abuse.
I mean, but that was the rules of the game, though. At the time.
It was, and I'm not mad at him for it. When people talk about GOATs, though, he's not up there at all. And You know, I think that just like Frankie Edgar, I don't think Overeem should go out on a loss. I think he should just try to get a win and call it a career, you know, and that's it. Give him one of these guys that, you know, Dana White knows that they're going to get knocked out viciously. Put him against Overeem, give Overeem a nice final highlight, and be like, hey, man, you know, you're the scam fighter of the century. You got away from doing steroids so long. So long.
It's like, I don't know how you did it.
Yeah.
You got this far?
Yeah. Just take the out when you can, you know.
Nah, man.
Shouts out to Overeem. Shouts out to
Ubereem.
Yeah, Uber.
Yeah, like shout outs to him. I mean, he's used to the gills though, but he used to be at least. But yeah, I saw it. I personally think he should just stop fighting at this point. Like, no, seriously. Like, I mean, granted, this is like I think he's what, like 2-1 in his last 3 fights, or like 2-2 in his last 4. But it's just, I don't know. I think some fighters at this point, it's just like he's not going to get a championship ever again. He's not going to like. To me, I don't see Overeem being in a space where he's going to become like this champion or being like the top dog or top 2 or top 3 fighter, like being a gatekeeper for fighters like that again. So like, I personally say it's best for him just to hang it up at this point.
Yeah, look, in all seriousness, the guy is a heavyweight legend in MMA across all boards. Right. You know, even though in Pride they allowed the ref to have an earpiece and tell the guy, "Hey, this is when you do the job." But like,
nature of business, man.
It's not my business. You're right. That, you know, but at the same time, like he was part of that era, and he was just a product of the environment, and he got a lot of wins. I don't want to hear about his Strike Force championship. You know, he beat a guy that was flipping tires the day before. I don't want to hear about Dream. You know how it is over there in Japan. You know what I mean? Everybody looks great in Japan when the ref is telling them, "Hey, this is your time to fall." So like, but you know, he beat some people in America. He beat some UFC heavyweights. I'll never take that away from him when he was off the juice. The dude's heavyweight legend. He might make the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? And he just lost to a better fighter, and good for him. And good for the guy that won. You know what I mean? And I hope, like I said, I would like to see Overeem just retire on top. I don't want to see any fighter, you know, like what I will say about Overeem, despite his steroid shit and all that, is he doesn't seem like a bad person at all. You know what I mean? He just doesn't. He just seems like a normal dude who just loves the fight game. So when you're just a normal good guy like that, or a decent guy, I just hope you could go out on top. You know what I mean? Like, you know, at least go out with your head held high. You know, there's some fighters I don't like that I'm like, yo, I hope he kisses the dirt. And
jeez.
And you know, and I think there's one fighter that we all could agree on. You know what I mean? You know, he fights at 170 pounds. He's currently ranked the number 1 guy under the Nigerian Nightmare.
Oh, he's fighting this weekend, actually.
No, it's not Gilbert Burns.
Oh, wow. No.
you know who I'm talking about.
I meant
he already been knocked out by the Nigerian Nightmare.
That's what I meant. The Nigerian Nightmare. He was fighting. Last week, listeners, we had said as to who we won. We wanted to win this fight coming up this weekend. We didn't realize that we were actually speaking on a fight that was happening this weekend coming up, which is Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns.
Who you guys got on that?
I got Usman by decision. I think it's going to be a very tough fight, though. Gilbert Burns is not one to fuck with. So don't be surprised if Gilbert Burns is giving Usman the runs.
Look, my choice hasn't changed from last week. Kamaru Usman by majority decision. Well, not even, I'm sorry. What is it? Unanimous decision.
Unanimous.
Yeah, he's going to go in. He's going to destroy him. I really don't think he's going to have anything going wrong for him. That's my prediction. That's why I think he's going to win. That's why I want to win. All that.
Yeah, I got still going with Usman also. I'm not even going to go. I feel like decision might be best, but I'm not going to play it too safe. 4th round knockout. Usman.
Usman.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Burns ain't nothing to play with, but I give it 4th round.
Hey, man. You know what? It's been knocking out the park lately, though. Motherfucking WandaVision. I fucking hate that show. I hated it at first. My bad. I hated it at first. Episodes 4 or 5 been good. It's like about time. I'm telling you, the first 3 episodes, worst fucking pieces of TV in the history of TV. And episode 4 or 5 is like a complete 180. 180. Spence, you should watch it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't checked it out yet. I remember you guys did say something about it before.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's pretty cool. YouTube could definitely fill you in with a lot of like Easter egg shit if there's still some things. I mean, spoiler, boiler, who gives a fuck? It's just the first 3 episodes are garbage.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Like right now, I'm pressed about Snowfall. So once I get a chance, I'll try to see. Maybe I'll try to watch it before Snowfall drops or something.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cool show. I like it. I wasn't really expecting it to go into this direction that it's going into. If you care about any of this Marvel movie, MCU thing that's going on, you're probably going to have to watch the show at some point. It's like important like that, or at least it could be, depending on how this thing goes.
Yeah, man. They just need to cut this fucking garbage sitcom shit out. But
I think they're about to be done with that.
Listeners, if you watch WandaVision, please comment, leave us your thoughts, let us know, you know what I mean? Hit our DMs, leave a voice response or a big ass paragraph. I will not read it. So just to let y'all motherfuckers know, definitely let us know about what you think about WandaVision. We'll definitely chop it up with you guys about it. I think that may be it, guys. We kind of did this on a little late night. I know Spence, he been grinding hard. You know what I mean? His boss pulled him in the office and reigned him a new.
Man, don't say boss, man.
His boss. I mean, his boss.
I don't like the word boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
His leader pulled.
Supervisor, whatever you want to call it.
His leader pulled him in and ripped him a new one. Says, "I need you to get all this shit fucking done, or your ass is on the street."
That means I gotta work another grave night shift in the factories, man. That's all. More boxes to pack, right?
Yeah, but but Spence, man, he's been working really hard. If listeners, you could see him right now. My man's tired. He got a lot of gray right now.
They can see us now. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, and he fell face first drinking his coffee. So my man's just tired. So we gotta get out of here. Nigel's tired too. He been squinting his eyes a little bit. You know what I mean? So
I see it in your eyes, man.
It gets funny, man. It just happens like that.
Yeah. So thank you, listeners. We about to drop our handles, or if they even call it that anymore.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
We're finna drop it off, so this way you guys know where to follow us. But what I will say before we end it off, please leave us a review. Please leave us comments. Please leave us likes, shares, do all that. It helps spread awareness. We appreciate all you guys. We see that, slowly but shortly, people are leaving like little reviews on the Apple podcast. Just keep that up. Keep doing it. We definitely appreciate it. We love it. So continue to do that. Go ahead, Spence, man.
Yeah, everything that Lau said, and just to let you guys know, in about a couple days, we got a special episode coming out for you guys for Valentine's Day with a special interview that we did with a special person. So make sure you guys keep your ears tuned for that. You might catch some tips and tricks for your Valentine's Day or Valentine's date. It's never too late. You know what I mean? The 14th is coming up. But so, of course, we got to drop it on a lucky 13 for you guys. Hopefully you guys get to it. and get busy because you know what I'm saying? You got to get them chocolates, got to get them roses. You might need to know what to say before you propose and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So keep your eyes out and ears looking for that. So that's just the extra thing I had to get off real quick before we get out of here. Oh, and follow me at St. Kitch, st.kitch on Instagram. And yeah, on Instagram. That's all.
You already know where to follow me, man. Man, I don't even need to say it. Big Cozy, too cozy. Fuck it. I just said it for you. Hey, and make sure you follow my man, relaxing _ Jackson. And ain't no G behind the relaxing neither. He was going to tell you that. Go ahead,
man,
Nigel.
He said it for me. You guys have been highly advised. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one. Be safe. Enjoy your day, night, whenever you listen to this. Enjoy your life.
You've been highly advised.
Follow us. Follow me.